favorite song of the day coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Sunday. It is Slow Down Sunday. That's where we slow things down for you. As you know, if you've been listening regularly, that's what we do here on Sundays. And we are on the 7th day of 7 Song of the Days in a row. We did it, people. We made it. We made it. I don't know what that means for next week. No promises, but we do our best around here, as you know. And it is Father's Day today. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Slowing it down on Father's Day is usually pretty easy. I don't know if it was if Father's Day was on Octane Friday, what would we do for themes? What kind of songs would we have out there? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But anyway, maybe it would just be a bunch of AC/DC and Def Leppard. But anyway, I thought about this for a bit, and I was like, you know what? I am going to do Neil Young today. This is a perfect opportunity for me to do Neil Young. It's bittersweet on Father's Day for us here in this family, missing my father-in-law, Ferg, who was a huge Neil Young fan and who I shared that love with. But we're going back to April of 1972, April 17th, 1972. Neil Young, 27 years old, releases a single from his album Harvest, released in February, just a few months prior to 1972. That amazing album Harvest that is just unbelievable, just so good, and really up there with some of the best albums of all time. That went to number 4 in Canada. Of course, he's Canadian, and number 31 in the United States, but the legacy of that album is much, much more than that. For those of you who are not familiar with Neil Young and his history, he was born in Toronto. His dad was a journalist. His mother was a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution because she had American and French ancestry. He got polio at age 6 in 1951, and after getting out of the hospital, they decided to winter in Florida to try to recuperate, and he later ended up in Winnipeg, back in Canada as a musician. And some of you know all this history, but then when you actually think about what happened in the time frame, you're like, what? But anyway, he ended up in Winnipeg. Eventually goes out west and ends up forming Buffalo Springfield from 1966 to 1968. And of course, for what it's worth, amazing song. Obviously, that's just great, and the video for that is amazing. He then ends up going solo, and also a project with a band he called him Crazy Horse, 68, 69. Some great songs come out of there. Cinnamon Girl, Cowgirl in the Sand, Down by the River, which was a Ferg favorite. We would just blare that one every time he came over. And then, if that wasn't good enough, he joins Crosby, Stills, and Nash, CSN&Y, 69 to 70, and they put out, those two amazing records, the self-titled and Deja Vu. I can't even list all the songs off of those. That's unbelievable. And then they put off their live 4-Way Street record. That just brings them into the stratosphere all over again. Amazing. That's 69, 70. And then right after that, he releases solo After the Gold Rush in August of 1970. Don't Let It Bring You Down. Amazing song. We've talked about that, and Annie Lennox's remake of that. Southern Man, of course, you can go back and forth with Lynyrd Skynyrd about that. And then a little bit later, he debuts. He's been playing a song acoustically. He goes to Nashville. He's getting on the Johnny Cash show, and he debuts his song, The Needle and the Damage Done, about heroin overdose after the death of a bandmate from heroin, which that song is just haunting and amazing as well. At that Johnny Cash show in Nashville, someone says to him, hey, you want to do some recordings with some session musicians? You want to come over to my studio and just kind of see what we've got? And he says, sure. So he goes over there, and then just so happens that Linda Ronstadt and James Taylor were on the Johnny Cash show, or involved around that, and they got wind, and they're like, hey, let's go down and check out what he's doing. And next thing you know, they're recording songs, and they're songs that he's been playing live. He's been doing an acoustic live tour and debuting songs, and you can see those recordings on the BBC network. You can get that on YouTube now. I'm going to post some of those below, because when I first saw those, I was like, what is going on here? This is amazing. Why wasn't this ever released? But then he's playing these, and then they start to realize that they really have something good going here, and they were going to release this as a live album, but the producer said, no, we got to do a regular album. So that's what they do. They end up recording a formal album, and that becomes
Harvest. This great box set came out a little while back. I got it. It's got DVDs, CDs. It's got the BBC footage. You have to have a DVD player these days. You got to have a CD player. But you can also stream this and all that good stuff. But this record comes out, and yes, Linda Ronstadt and James Taylor are backing vocals, and James Taylor's playing banjo on Old Man. How about that? It also has David Crosby, Graham Nash on it. It's crazy, right? The London Symphony Orchestra, or were they just in Nashville that day? They're on 2 tracks. Anyway, some great songs on here. I mean, where do you start with Harvest? You guys listen to this whole thing, right? I mean, it goes Old Man, Needle and Damage Done, Journey Through the Past is one of those songs I'd never heard until I saw that BBC concert, and I was like, what song is this? Why don't I know this? And that's like one of my all-time favorites. A Man Needs a Maid, Heart of Gold, of course, amazing. But Old Man is where it's at today. That's going to be our song of the day. That's Linda Ronstadt on backing vocals. That's James Taylor on banjo and backing vocals. This is just, it's perfect for Father's Day, right? I've been first and last. Look how the time goes past, but I'm all alone at last. Rolling home to you. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Nothing not to like about those lyrics. What a great song. That song is about, he bought a ranch in Northern California in 1970 for $350,000, which is about $2.8 million in today's money. Think about that for a minute. And there was a caretaker there, and he has a whole story about taking a Jeep up to a hill and talking to this guy, and he's like, how the heck do you afford this, someone your age? And he's like, I guess I'm lucky. And the guy's like, that's the darndest thing I ever heard. So anyway, I wrote this song, and so Old Man is your song of the day. Again, what a great song, bittersweet on this Father's Day. But to all of you fathers out there, cheers to you and whatever you're doing. To all the fathers that aren't with us anymore, we remember you and all that stuff. So, happy Father's Day, everyone. Neil Young, Old Man, song of the day. Enjoy it. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.